Hello and welcome to another episode of Crash Test Games. Today we're going to be playing EVE Online, and we are going to go ahead and go into a calm electrical filament or abyssal. Now I've got my trusty Gila here. It is a bit more expensive than what you need for a level 1 or calm electrical. However, it does really good for up to level 4s. I'm still working on my fitting for level 5. Now, I am an alpha state clone right now, so as far as that goes, this will perform a lot better when I'm not just an alpha state. However, we do have for our fitting our rapid light missile launchers with Scorch Furies. We've got a Drone Link Augmentor. However, that is offline, giving me a maximum drone range of only 40 kilometers. I've got a large abyssal shield booster, and 2 Gistum C-type adaptive invulnerability fields, Pith X-type shield boost amplifier, a Gistum B-type 10 MN afterburner, a large abyssal capacitor booster, sentient omnidirectional tracking enhancers, and 2 Imperial Navy drone damage amplifiers. As far as rig slots, we have 2 semiconductor memory cells, one of them at Tech 2, one of them Tech 1, and then a capacitor control circuit 1. In our drone bay, we've got 2 Imperial Navy infiltrators, which are going to be our primary drone. We've got an augmented Vespa and 2 Caldari Navy Vespas. Now, I do have a few implants in, so keep in mind that, I am performing a little bit better than most would at this point. I've got a full set of high-grade crystals, including the Omega. I've got a Zainao, however you pronounce that, Gnome Shield Management SM705, an Inherit Implant Squire Capacitor Management, a Snapshot for light missiles, and a Eifer & Co. Alchemist for later on. This one is specifically to help with side effects and such when you're using drugs and boosters and such, which we're not going to be using today because they're specifically for level 5 when we get into that point. Let's go ahead and undock and start having some fun with this. Now, one thing to look at while you are in abysses is that you do leave a trace of where you're at, and while people can't follow you in, they can definitely camp and wait for you to come out. So we're in a 1.0 security system, so I'm not too worried about it. You do have about 30 seconds to a minute before they can shoot you when you come out, giving you time to get defenses online and being able to fend yourself off. So we're going to go ahead and double click on our Calm Electrical, and you can activate for a fleet. However, each member must be a Tech 1 or Tech 2 frigate. Let's go ahead and activate for our faction cruiser here. This is a Gila, by the way. Alright, and right away we can start turning equipment on. Now, one of the reasons why I like to have the electricals is due to the fact that it helps with a lot of my capacitor issues, which I don't have any. But when they start energy neutralizing you, you start having them. All right, let's go ahead and start looking at where these subnodes are at. Alright, looks like this closest one is probably going to be our best bet. Let's start heading that way and launch our infiltrators. have had a lot of people ask me why I go for these extras. It's really simple. The bioadaptive nodes, they sometimes don't have anything good in them. Actually, most of the time they don't have anything good in them. It's a very rare occurrence that they do actually have anything good in them. So I go for them simply to be able to get a little bit more stable of an income with it, although that does bring my time down. So let's go ahead and move this down a little bit so you guys can see the time frame that I've got here. So currently I've got 18 minutes left before the warp field collapses, and my ship is certainly doomed at that point. Now I am getting just a little bit of lag in here just because the graphics requirements are a lot higher in the Abyss than they are in regular space. But that's alright, we're going to go ahead and leave that there for right now. Alright, we're going to go ahead and stop here, and we're going to launch our mobile tractor unit. Get it moving on stuff. And let's see what's picking up. Alright, so that's 500k, and that's saved 250k. So not a whole lot as far as our first room goes. Let's see what this other item brings us, shall we? No, we don't want to head that way, actually. Now, sometimes you get these extra towers. This one is a short-range automated suppressor. Now, it does damage your ship, it damages your drones, but it also damages all of your opponents as well. All NPCs get damaged by it. Your missiles actually have a chance of getting damaged by it. Every one of these little tiny flares is actually a missile heading out one direction or another. So it damages everything. Although normally the damage is minimal, so you don't really notice it. But it does great for stopping people's shield regain. Alrighty, looks like that's done looting now. Let's scoop it to our cargo hold and be on our way. First room done with about 5 minutes to spare. Or in about 5 minutes. We're going to go ahead and reduce our graphics in just a little bit. Once again, we're going to track our little nodes here, see which ones are going to be closer. Looks like it's going to be this one this time. See if it comes up with anything good. Alright, this time it looks like we're not getting anything super great from this room either.
Alright, and there we go, all finished. We've got about 10.5 minutes left before the entire pocket closes down on us. Oh, great, we got some cruisers this time. Make things a little more fun. Alright, just to how far out of it, extraction nodes are. We're going to go ahead and completely ignore them this time.
Let's go ahead and blow this one up. Go ahead and get out of here. We got about 8.5 minutes left to spare. Now this all works better and faster when you're on an Omega clone rather than an Alpha clone, but currently I'm on an Alpha clone, so I gotta do what I can. Jump on out. Alright, there's nobody around us that we can tell right now, but we're gonna turn on our resistances and our shield boosters just in case, and we're going to wait a cycle as you come out with about 60 seconds before anybody else can attack you. Gonna head over to our station and we're gonna count our loot. Alright, so first of all, we got another calm electrical filament, which we're going to go ahead and stack on top of our other ones, which means we don't have to buy another one for a little bit extra longer. We got 21 Triglavian survey databases, which equals about 2.1 million. I really like these because they do great in getting our baseline set for what we make. Because Concord buys them at 100k per unit, so you don't have to worry too much about market flux on that. The crystalline Isogen 10, it's pretty good as well. Most units run between 150 and 210 ISK per unit, though sometimes it runs a little bit higher. So we made about 600k there, about what it says that we made here in the estimated. And then this is about 100k as well, so it's pretty accurate where it says we made about 300k with it as well. So we're going to go ahead and just drop these in our hangar. Let's go ahead and go do one more. This time I'm not going to utilize the mobile tracking or mobile tractor unit, just because personally it slows me down. Now I've got 5 different areas set up for my Ibis running locations. That way, if I have pirates that follow me or track me down or anything like that, it's a little bit less likely for them to be able to come and find me. Let's go ahead and activate our filament. And here we go. Alright, I was hoping to get a drone spawn on us. So if you get a drone spawn, it's not the end of the world. Don't get me wrong, they can be a little bit intimidating because there's several different drones, especially when you have battleships that are dropping drones on you in like level 4s and such. This is nothing to be worried about. All you have to do is take out the actual drone ships, instead of the drones themselves, and the drones cease to work. So you can see here these 3 drones just stopped working flat out just because they no longer have a commanding ship, so they won't attack you anymore. Now I've had some people ask me why I don't get a tractor beam or something on my ship rather than a mobile tractor unit. I actually don't like using the mobile tractor unit. Like I said, it slows me down a bit. The way that my ship is set up, if I were to swap out my my drone link augmentor, I prefer to have the extra drone range actually in these, due to the fact that some of the ships will spawn way far out and they try to keep their distance the best that they can. And if I'm stuck with the base of 40 kilometers or whatever my base is, and they're just outside of that, it's always nice to have that extra drone range just to make sure that you're not having issues getting to your targets. Now I always pop up a little bit before I start heading towards anything else, just to make sure that I'm not going to end up getting stuck on a rock. It has happened before, and I've had some pretty close calls due to it. Most of the time, though, you're going to be pretty safe as long as you steer away from them. Alright, let's go ahead and see what we got out of this bioadaptive cache. Alright, looks like we got a weapon blueprint, a level 3 filament, some Triglibian surveys, and some 0-point condensate. Let's go ahead and loot all, yes please, and head over to the transfer conduit. Now something very, very important to remember whenever you are running in the Abyss is that you have 2 different types of gates. You have the transfer conduit, which is what we take, and then you have the proving grounds, which is PvP. So if you decide that you want to do some PvP in here, you very well can. Just keep in mind that most of the time these guys have been doing this for quite some time. Well, that was fun. Let's go ahead and pick up our spoils, which is nothing good once again. Recall our drones and head over to the next one. Alright, looks like we got a battleship in here. Let's start heading straight for that guy, because he's going to be at a long range, so it's going to be kind of difficult to catch up to him. Now you'll see that they start off a lot of times with a low hit point amount, no shields, no armor, and their hull is usually about half. This is really nice, but at the same time that extra half hull can be a pain in the butt to get through if you allow the shields and armor to come back up. Looks like we got through him pretty easily. And light show. go ahead and pick up our loot and be on our merry way. Alright, looks like it's just more Triglyvian surveys, so let's go ahead and get out of here and then count up our loot. Now this time, as you can see, we've got about 10 minutes and 15 seconds left by the time we destroyed our loot crate here, which is great. The more time you have, the easier the next one's going to be. Alright, we're back in the station. Alright, so we came out with 16 Triglyvian survey databases, which again are 100k apiece, so that's 1.6 million right there. This Fierce Gamma claims that the estimation on it is 6.9 or 6.79 million. Let's go ahead and look at the market details just from where I'm at. So just where I'm at, we could easily sell it for 4.2 million just to buyers. But then we also have another several of them that are being sold for 15 million apiece. So it really depends on where you're at and what the current market is for those. Our 0 point condensate is 1.76 million, so that's not too bad as well, but let's double check the market details on that. So it's estimating that we can sell them at about 97k per one, and we can easily sell them at 85k per one, so we're going to be just under that 1.76 million mark there. And then, as far as the crystalline isogen 10, let's go ahead and pull that up just so we can look at it too. So currently it's saying that the estimation price on it is 210k per one. However, you can see over here that we can only sell it, at least in my region, at 150k per one instead of 210. However, people are selling it for as little as 210k or as much as 300k per one. So that's going to be about accurate as well. It's somewhere in that neighborhood. The market has really it's really stabilized for these since I started doing these. All right, and then we have our heavy scoped entropic disintegrator blueprint right here. Now there isn't any actual pricing on these because they're pretty much a dime a dozen. Let's go ahead and pull up the minimum price on them. Yeah, so we got about 90,000 here for the actual blueprint. So if we go in and we make the actual item, however, we can go in and pull up the market detail for that. Right now there's none over here where I'm at. A lot of times they range anywhere from 10 to 20 million. So those are pretty good as well. So we may have made up to about 40 million off that one. So the biggest thing that you have to keep in mind whenever you're doing any sort of the Abyss is it's kind of a gamble how much you're going to make. You're going to either make, at least with level 1s, you're going to make as little as about 3 million. In this case, we made about 40 million if that weapon sells the way that we want it to. 30 million if that sells about the way that we want it to. If not, then it's going to be a little bit less than that, but overall it's a 50-50 gamble if you're going to make much or not. Now you get into the tier 2, the tier 3, and the tier 4s. You start making money on them. They pay for themselves most of the time. I go after the extraction nodes on the side more with those, because again, I kind of want that as a stable source of income, and you can usually make anywhere from 21 million to about 100 million just off of the side resources in those, and then that's not including any sort of the extra nice stuff, such as any skill books or the extra blueprints or anything like that. So yeah, and you can even find things like this faction Heavy Veils Entropic Disintegrator, which runs about 100 million, and they're pretty nice as well. Alright, that's it for us today. Thanks for joining me on Crash Test Games. Go ahead and leave a thumbs up, like, a comment, And if you really liked the video, I would encourage you to subscribe for future endeavors. Have a nice day.